As a man, before you can be a man who is ready for a relationship, you don't need to be in a relationship unless you got toxic dick. I'm just going to leave it just simple to you. In this day and age, women are too overstimulated for you to be coming with some regular schmegular dick thinking that that's going to stimulate a woman enough to where you can be in a relationship. Listen, she may love you. She may care about you genuinely, right? She may want to be there for you, right? She may even want to have your children. But unless you have penis power, that shit does not matter. I'm telling you right now. Love without respect and desire just leaves somebody feeling trapped and obligated. Understand that. It feels like pressure. You got to come with the pressure yourself. But that pressure has to go on her vagina. You feel me? It's like, I'm just keeping it a buck with you. It's good D and guidance. Now, as men, we have to understand that you have to tap into your predator mode first. You have to. But then you have to control that beast. You have to control it. You got to stop giving women credit for not being your hoe. She has to be your hoe before she your housewife. And not everyone who's your hoe gonna be a housewife, but at the very least, you can use your penis power to leave her better than you found her. I'm telling you right now. Like, to me, I'm gonna jump out the gate with the penis power, but I'm not giving a woman an A-game dick off the top. I'm not doing that. Because one, that's how you get women to act crazy as fuck with you, for one. I done been through it. I done experienced it. Because there's certain steps you gotta go through as a man. You gotta go through that process of developing your dick so it can be on that toxic level. You can develop your dick so that you have penis power. But after you develop it, you can't develop your dick to have penis power and then be a pleasure seeker. Because you a pleasure seeker as a man, it's going to ruin you. You got to develop that power. Then you got to control it. You got to develop that power. And after you develop it, then you got to take a masculine perspective towards that. A masculine perspective towards it. And after you develop that masculine perspective towards it, that's when you got to take that. Make some smart decisions with it. Because there's a lot of men out here who don't have penis power. Then those are the men a lot of times who are looking for a relationship. I know you see guys online, they not getting no consistent pussy, like, oh, I need a girlfriend. You don't need a girlfriend to get some pussy. That is not necessary. When you say stuff like that, you sound like you ain't got no penis power. Either sound like you ain't got no penis power, or you sound like a dude who like to play women. Right? You tell her exactly what the fuck it is. You set your standards. You work your way up. After you work your way up, you get to the point where you say, okay, cool. Woman who act right, she do the things she's supposed to do. You raise her up. And at the very least, listen, if you're not going to be with her, there's some real shit. People ain't going to tell you this. If you ain't going to be with a woman and you sitting here out here overstimulating her, you out here giving her 20, 30, 40 orgasms, you out here have her squirting about, she ain't never had that type of experience before. At the very least, you take that influence that you have with your penis power and you leave her better than you found her. Now, I'll say this right here. No limit soldiers don't want to be left better than you found them. I say don't even deal with no limit soldiers. But if you do, just give them dick and send them on their way. If she's not receptive to your influence, let her go on her fucking way. Because you're going to denigrate your masculinity. You're going to denigrate your dominance by dealing with a woman who you don't have that effect on. And then you really going to get into predator mode. That's not the move. You just deal with a woman. Use your penis power. Use that toxic dick. Use your masculinity. And you develop your leadership skills. And you put a woman in a position where she knows how to identify that. Right? But you got to teach a woman how not to play with fire. Because once a woman gets tapped in, right? Once she gets tapped in, because some women, they tap out. They get close to having the orgasm, they go run away from the pleasure. Right? You give them too much pleasure, they start avoiding you. Some women, they cut you off if you fuck them too good. Because they have this inherent fear of becoming feminine and submissive with the man. A lot of women feel like the way to have control or the way to protect themselves in a relationship is to feel like their vagina is something that a man is addicted to in a way to where he's going to be willing to be with her if he don't get it. Bullshit. I got a video saying a woman can't win the game. But what you can do is this. Right? If a woman likes a particular type of man, you put her on game. You teach her some shit. Like, listen, hey, baby girl, listen. These are some ways you need to move. You can do what you want to do. This is something that's going to be beneficial. She listened to you, she take that advice, boom. Now her options increase. Now her femininity, her submissiveness increase. Now her desirability increase. Now she in a place where she could get a dominant man who actually want to be with her. Right? But also you have to show her, like, listen, this is how you identify good character traits and a man who has good dick. Because most of the time, most women, they're never going to experience a man who has good dick and who's a good person. Most women are never going to experience that. Most women will never learn the difference between a masculine dominant man and a fuckboy. But you don't need to be in a relationship unless you have penis power, unless you have toxic dick. And most men, they reach that point, and when they reach that point, that's when they're in a position where, like, oh, I don't need a relationship. That's true. You don't need one. You don't need to be out here saying, okay, I'm looking for a relationship. Don't do that shit. But you need to identify good traits in a woman. You need to identify a woman who's feminist, submissive with you, who's on your program, who's trying to fuck with you the long way. And when you can identify that, right? When you can identify that shit, that's when you need to take you a stance to where, okay, cool. Either I'm going to build her up to where she can be at my standards, or I'm going to build her up to where she can be with somebody who's going to be better for her than I am. You don't need to be spending years on top of years, on top of years, on top of years, overstimulating a woman, putting her in a position to where she's just weak for you forever, right? Making her think that the effect you have on her is just you. Having her think that the effect that you have on her is just, oh, that's just the effect you have on her. Because that's just you. No. Another man can have that effect on her. Now, you don't want her to be in a position where you're going to have that effect on her. And then after you have that effect on her, now she's in a position where, since you're having that effect on her, she's not in a position to where she's just trapped with you. She can't get up out that situation. She's a slave to the dick. No, if you get a woman in that position, you teach her something. If she's not receptive to learn, that's on her. Don't even worry about that. If a woman wants to be a no-limit soldier, cool. Let her go on her way. If a woman ain't receptive to your guidance, and she get overstimulated with you, and then now she can't find a man who can make her feel that way, her cup gets low, she wants to go from a Harley to a Schwinn, she wants to go from a Harley to a Huffy, that's her fault. That's on her. But if that woman gets to the point where she's receptive to your guidance, she's receptive to your influence, right? She gets to that point, like I say, is this: you leave her better than you found her. Which means that you either coach and guide that woman to the point where she can be with you, or you coach and guide her till she can actually have a man who's gonna give her both. And I know some men gonna have an issue with this. Oh, just worry about yourself. Don't worry about it. No, you talking about how to deal with no-limit soldiers. I'm talking about how to deal with women who are feminine and submissive with you. You want to make sure that you got good character as a man. You want to make sure you have integrity. All right? Because I'm gonna tell you some real shit. Let's say a woman is overweight. Let's say a woman's underweight. You can use your penis power. You can use your influence to put her in a position where her body type is her body is going to be more acclimated towards an archetype that fits her body. Not every woman is going to look like some Meg Thee Stallion. Not every woman is going to look like some damn what's the name? Tracy Ellis Ross. Not every woman going to look like Ari Lennox. You feel me? You know, and those are just the women that I like, right? Not necessarily like Meg Thee Stallion, but her body do look nice. I ain't gonna lie to you. But not every woman gonna fit certain archetypes. But what you can do is understand this, and I like to take a balanced body positivity mindset to things, right? Where there's different sizes, different archetypes of bodies that a woman can have, different ways she can present herself. Not every woman can look a particular way, but you can look at a woman's body and say, okay, listen, is this a goal that you would like to reach? What do you think would be ideal for your body? You develop the leadership skills, and you can use those leadership skills of improving one woman to learn how to keep a woman in your wheelhouse after you with her. So let's say you're dealing with a woman, she get a little bit overweight, you got some penis power. What you got to understand is that a lot of women's binge eating issues come from the fact that eating is their guilty pleasure. If eating is a woman's guilty pleasure, then she might put herself in a position where she's repressing her sexuality, and then she's going to be getting overweight because that's where she gets her pleasure from. But once that dick really hits her on a certain level, that dick becomes more powerful than that food as far as the pleasure that you give her. And once a woman is in that position, that's when you go ahead and influence her. Like, no, we don't eat this right here. What you eating today? You know what, go eat this right here. You feel me? I remember one time I was dealing with a woman. Her mother was on a vegan diet for a month, right? She had a man fucking with her the long way, right? But this man was masculine. He was dominant, right? Now this man, she came home one day. She was about to break her 30-day vegan diet. She's about to break her diet. Her daughter said, "Oh, Mom, you're not done with your diet? Yeah, don't do it." She's like, "No, I can't do it no more. I'm about to eat these ribs. I'm about to eat these ribs." She was just ignoring her, right? Because the desire for those ribs was more powerful than her resolve to continue on her diet. But then her man came and said, "Put that down." Yes, Daddy. She put that shit down right away. You got to understand there's different ways you could do things. Let's say a woman is slim. Sometimes a woman is slim to a certain level. There's nothing wrong with a woman being slim. A lot of men like that. But there is times to where you got to know what type of man you want. Like as a black man, most black men, we're going to like women who are a little bit on the thicker side. Right? So, shit, you can pull up on a woman. If she says she wants her ass to be fatter, you got some good dick. You make a woman feel comfortable. Not making her feel comfortable. She's just comfortable in your presence regardless. Like, however you bring it to her is how she gonna take it. When a woman like that, man, you start laying some real pipe on her ass, she gonna start getting thick. You feel me? And put her on game. Learn how to train a woman, right? I'm a boxing coach. Learn how to put a woman in a position where she starts, where she can gain some weight, where that shit just starts spreading her hips out, right? You know, put her on some game to where she starts doing some exercises so that she can fit the closest, best archetype for her body type as possible. Work on that mindset. You know, you can teach a woman. Listen, you know that goofy shit that you said when we first started talking to each other that I knew how to get past? There's going to be some men who will be good to you that they may not know how to get past that goofy shit that you said. Some masculine dominant men, they just going to walk away right there. And then some other men, they going to fuck up and you're going to lose respect for them because you was on some Delilah syndrome goofy shit you was saying. Don't do that. Don't do that, right? Just stop. Stop that. And you know, and you can have enough influence on a woman to where she learns her lesson and she stops doing that shit. Because a lot of women, they sabotage themselves when it comes to an opportunity of dealing with a masculine dominant man. Show a woman some good character traits. You show a woman how to campaign for a position. A lot of women, especially in our community, black community, they weren't raised to be a wife. They weren't raised to actually be the type of woman a man would want to cuff up. Not a man who has options, not a man who has some good dick, not a man who has emotional discipline. They're just going to get cuffed up by a dude who's masculine, submissive, or feminine dominant. All right, that's all she can deal with. Those men are just going to play with that woman. They're just going to break her down. And not break her down to build her back up, just break her down just to break her down. If you're going to break a woman down, don't break a woman all the way down unless you're going to build her back up. Right? And if she get broke down because she playing games, or she get broke down because she's being dishonest about her intentions, that's her fault. That's on her. She start chasing dragons, right? She becomes a size queen. She starts being a thrill chaser, a thrill seeker. She always looking for the next best thing. That's on her. Don't take no responsibility for that. But what I will say is this: there's things you can teach a woman. There's things you can guide a woman. Like, let her know. All right, it's good dick and guidance. You get some good dick that also has some influence behind it, where he's teaching you something that benefits you, then it's not best for you to be fucking with nobody else at that time. And if you are, don't be fucking with nobody else's dominant, because not that you can't, not that I'm gonna be so hurt that you did it. It's just a matter of you might trade in some dick that's gonna be better for 2 weeks, right? And then realize, damn, I don't actually respect this guy. I may be highly attracted to this guy, but I'm not even that sexually satisfied over the course of this 2 weeks. All I did was put myself in a situation where I took the dick I was getting off a pedestal, and now it has less influence. Now it's the daddy versus father effect. Now it's, non-stick principle, right? You got to teach a woman these things. A lot of women, they don't know these things. You have to use your penis power for good. You got to use your penis power for good. And what I will say is this: there's a lot of guys that just go deal with no limit soldiers. Some of those modern women whose mindset is either it's just sex or it's a relationship. Women who have that mindset of a dude is either going to be just sex or relationship, you setting yourself up for failure. You got to learn how to campaign for the position you desire. If not, you need to protect yourself from good dick at all costs. Because if you get some good dick and then you meet a dude who wants to love you up front, you're not going to respect that nigga. You're not going to respect him, and then chances are the sex is going to drop off immediately, or it's never going to get up there. Then you're going to cheat on him. You're going to hurt that man. And then if you hurt enough men like that, or you hurt a man bad enough, you're going to get a bad reputation. And once your name starts running around them streets, you're going to have to go to a different city or something like that just to find a man who want to be with you. A man who got any type of character or integrity. These are just things we got to understand. Also, you got some good dick, you got some penis power, you got to understand that just because somebody's feminine and submissive and does things for you because they like it and because they enjoy it, doesn't mean that they have unlimited resources. Emotionally, financially, sexually, it doesn't mean they have unlimited resources. So sometimes you got to give the pussy a little bit of break. Sometimes you have to teach a woman how to delay gratification. Let that pussy marinate. You have to fetishize those different things that will be conducive to a healthy relationship through pleasure denial. Pleasure denial works the same way as edging does. You have to fetishize those things by putting a woman in a position where the better she treats you, the better pleasure she experiences, right? And that has a certain effect of making it a lot easier for a woman to be in a sustainable situation. Because if you real front heavy with the dick, but then you fall off over time, then a woman's going to be in a mind state to where she feels like that new dick that she gets when she first meet a man is that dick that's going to really kick it off. But the moment she starts getting to know a man and liking a man, then it's not going to hit the same. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be like that. So I'm just telling you some real shit. Because as men, I believe something that's important is for us to be responsible with our penis power, to be responsible with our discipline, right? Now, what I'll say is this as well. When you got penis power, after you experience having penis power, you can't be satisfied with a woman who you don't have that effect on, regardless of how good she treats you outside of sex, regardless of how much she cooks for you, regardless of how much money she spends on you, regardless of any of that shit. Don't do it. Because you are going to cheat on that woman, or you're going to mistreat that woman, or you're going to get upset, and then you're going to start to denigrate your own dominance, denigrate your own masculinity. You might get manipulative, you might get abusive, you might hurt that woman so that you can have a certain effect on her, right? What you got to understand is this: don't put yourself in a situation where you're being exclusive with a woman who can't meet your sex drive, right? Don't give a woman that type of pass, that type of power. Don't do it. Because regardless of what women do, as a man, it's still important that you have integrity. If you have integrity, that means, all right, I'm not going to cheat on a woman, right? And if you tell a woman you're going to do it, it's not cheating. You told her what the fuck it is. But keep your word about your agreements. You don't want to put a woman in a mind state to where she feels like she can't trust some dick that's good. You want a woman to be able to trust you, right? But to the extent that you are stretching a woman and taking her to places she's never been before, you have to use that influence to, yes, you're going to get things out of it. Yes, you're going to make that woman spend some money. Yes, you're going to make that woman cook for you. Yes, you're going to have that woman doing all types of things that satisfy and gratify you. Yeah, you're going to have that woman built, folded up like a pretzel, folded up like a lawn chair, right? Yeah, you're going to have that woman in all types of positions and situations and scenarios that she may have thought she'd never be comfortable with before. But to the extent that you do that, if that woman's open to your influence on that level, teach her something. If you have nothing to teach that woman, you have nothing to offer her. But a mouth and a pussy full of dick, ass full of dick, right? And when you're operating in that particular way, you in predator mode, you're going to denigrate your own masculinity. You're going to push that woman into her masculine energy. You're going to drain her cup. And then she's going to have to go deal with a beta male. And when she got to go deal with a beta male, then she is going to hurt that nigga. Because as soon as he gives her enough validation for her needs to be met, that's when she's going to be in a position where she's going to come back and fuck with you. And I've been in this situation multiple times. And sometimes I feel sorry for the niggas a little bit, but sometimes I don't, right? Sometimes I don't. Because there's niggas out here who ain't got no kind of good dick. All they doing is out here trying to lead with love, trying to lead with their money. And I'm like, all right, cool, nigga, I'll take advantage of the money that you're trying to spend on a girl. If that was my whole first. Shit, spend your money on her. That's cool. Take her out. Cool, right? You do that. But guess what? She coming back to fuck me. You should have known better than to think that you could come in on what a real nigga doing and think that you're going to have some type of influence, some type of power. Nah, you might validate her emotions a little bit, right? Make her feel good, make her feel loved. But like I said, love without respect and desire just leads to feeling trapped and obligated. People need to understand that. Overstimulation is a big thing. Maybe back in the day, you ain't had to have good dick because, if a woman's never had sex before, you get married to her, she keeps that shit bottled up, she keeps it just to you, then, okay, you're giving her the highest level of pleasure she's had at that point. But in this day and age, these women ain't virgins. In this day and age, these women been out here fucking. So you still have to compete on a basis of good dick. Your dick has to be on the same level and a greater level than Pookie's and Ray Ray's, right? Your dick has to be on a certain level to where you can get it cracking like that, right? You gotta be. And if it's not, then you're gonna be in a tough spot. So what I'm saying is this: put yourself in a position to where you out here, you running your game, you got your rotation, and you just getting to the point where you can start consistently figuring and learning women's bodies. Have some honest conversations, even about other dudes who they are fucking, other dudes they were fucking, different type of orgasms they've had, different type of experiences they've had, different effects that have happened. Like, okay, what position was you in? Like, what type of dick was it? See, some people, they don't want to ask this question. I'm like, well, what size of it? What kind of dick was it? Like, what did it do to you? What emotional effect did it have on you? You listen, you understand these things, and through understanding these things, you start developing your understanding, right? You go study a diagram of different spots in a woman's vagina, the different mindsets and the psychology behind that stuff. You can come to me and I can break that shit down for you real smooth. You gotta make sure you treat a woman in a way to where she knows that dick ain't free, right? Because like I always say, it's the law of equivalent exchange, but really that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's the bare minimum. You want a woman at a point to where she actively desires you and she's willing to do things to get the dick. So a great part of that is you teach a woman to have some great head skills. You get her addicted to sucking your dick, right? When she's addicted to sucking your dick, that's when you're in a position where you can make her earn the dick. But her earning the dick is really just doing things that increase her desire level so that when she finally gets it, ooh, she loved that dick, right? And just going through these steps, you study diagram of a woman's vagina, the different spots. You got the G spot, O spot, A spot, cervix, these different spots within the vagina. And when you study these things out, you learn how to angle your dick to hit those spots. You learn how to put yourself in positions to where you can do that consistently. You learn how to speed it up, slow it down. Some women say, oh, when I say I'm getting close, don't change what you're doing, nigga. Do the same thing. No, that's bullshit. Like, it's true. But that's only true if you don't have the power to control it. Give a woman permission to have an orgasm. Tell them, don't fucking come yet. Don't do it. And if she does, man, maybe smack her. I don't know. Like, there's different ways of dealing with it. And some people will say that's abusive. Nah, bitches love that shit. I'm just trying to put y'all on game, right? You want to stretch a woman out. You want to take her to places she's never been before, because that's where you have influence. You have influence over a woman when you her guilty pleasure, but then she also respects you, right? It's good D and guidance. So as men, we need to understand what penis power is, and you need to use your penis power responsibly. Develop penis power and use it responsibly. This is Brody. I'm out.